Welcome, everybody, to Catfish Weekly, presented by Catfish Clothing. Along with Cindy Stokes, I'm Lyle, and welcome to the show. We want to start out by announcing that the doctor will not be in the show with us tonight. His wife, Lynn, is in the hospital in intensive care. Please keep Lynn and Doc in your thoughts and prayers. I'm not going to go into what the issues are in case I would happen to mess up and say something that is wrong. They've been running tests on her the last couple of days, and she's got some bad infections and different things. And just keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And Doc will be with us back next Monday night. And it's just a tough situation for everybody when this happens. I'm sure that they didn't expect it, and nobody usually does. But she said, Doc told me this morning she got a pretty good night's sleep last night, but she was a little irritated because they hadn't given her anything to eat today. And believe you me, I can relate to that. So, Lynn, I hope you get to doing better, and Doc will be looking for you Monday night. We'll be having Jeremy Coe on as our guest, go over a few things that needs to be addressed, and Jeremy's always a lot of fun. Cindy, are you ready to spin the wheel tonight?
Yes, right now?
Well, no, we'll wait a minute. We'll get Josh and Trevor in here. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good.
How's things with backwoods catfishing?
No.
Man, it's awesome right now.
It is.
Things are going good.
I got to visit with you boys a little bit this weekend at Carruthersville. What a great time down there. We had a good time. Got to visit with you all and mess around a little bit down there and talk about catfishing and videos and all kinds of crazy stuff. Got to check out your boat. Looked pretty nice.
Got 8 of them. See this?
Yeah, the fishing could have been better for us, but everything else is pretty good.
You know, I've told a couple of people, and you guys know, we went down there to catch big blue catfish, and we had a little bit of trouble finding them. And Saturday when the tournament started, all we could catch was flatheads. And, you know, I'm not complaining because I love to catch them, but in my neck of the woods, they usually won't win you a tournament unless you get a really good one, and it'll help you out. But as a general rule, it takes blues to win here. But yeah, it was a good time. We had a lot of fun down there. Got to see a lot of people that we hadn't seen this year yet, and we had a blast visiting with you guys. Other than Trevor brought all them mosquitoes up from Alabama, and they were horrible, man.
That was the worst ever. You couldn't even have a casual conversation in a parking lot.
Oh,
Dying.
boy, if Cindy hadn't had all that off in the truck and the boat, we'd have been in trouble, wouldn't we?
Yeah, that was
Man.
a lifesaver.
Oh, man. You know,
I'll tell you, the first night we was on the water, the off didn't help at all. These mosquitoes were biting us through the off. They didn't care. They were eating us alive.
oh, man, she could only go out for little short periods at a time and help me with the dog, feed her, and you know, let her go to the bathroom and stuff. And I'd look up, and she was going through the door back in that motel. And a couple of times she told me they was on her clothes. She had to brush them off of her going in the door. They was so bad.
I was killing them on the way home.
Oh,
in
my.
the truck.
Oh, yeah, they was in a truck. We stopped to eat.
Yeah.
2.5 hours, and the windows rolled up, and I seen her in there beating on the windows, and she was in there killing mosquitoes. Man, they was tough.
Yeah, I couldn't even fall asleep on the way home because I'd fall asleep and I kept on getting bit in the truck.
Yeah, I thought Clarksville, Missouri had the market cornered on them big skeeters, but I believe Carruthersville's pretty much got it handled. You know, I wanted to visit with you guys a little bit here. I know we got a big giveaway for you guys to do tonight, but Grizzly Jig and B&M Rods and a bunch of people like that really stepped up, sell boats to make this tournament down there at Carruthersville a major deal. And from my perspective, what happened at Carruthersville is what it's going to take to get our sport to the next level where we all would like to see it go.
Oh, I agree. That was awesome. The venue, everything that they had set up, the Calcutta, just it was great. It really was a good time. I had one of the most enjoyable captain's meetings and settings, and the weigh-in went smooth. Everything was really nice.
Yeah, it really was. And, you know, they had the dinner available for you at the casino there. Very nice place to eat and a wonderful place to have the meeting in the Calcutta. I'd never seen a Calcutta divided up into 4 places like that. I kind of liked it. I thought it was a great deal. They just picked the numbers out, and if your finish happened to be the other 3 besides first, then you had a chance of winning nearly $1,000 a team. That was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it was $900 and some for 4 teams. That payout was on a Calcutta. So 4 teams ended up winning almost $1,000 apiece.
Right.
Yeah, that otherwise wouldn't have won anything.
That's exactly right. And I've said all along, we tried to start doing this Calcutta stuff several years ago when we was running Twisted Cat, and I told people then, I said, this is a missed opportunity that a lot of these catfishing organizations, and not just catfishing, you could do it in any of them. But when you got guys like Bill Dance and Jeff Dodd and you guys and a lot of the big teams that show up there, Carl Boris and Rob and Cooksies and all them, people are going to bid on those guys. And Daryl and Jason, them guys are always going to bring a big amount of money, and all that goes into a pot, and then you divide it up 4 ways, and whoever places in those 4 spots, which of course one place will be first place, they all get a check. And like you say, 3 teams wouldn't have won anything, and that took nothing away from the prize money. That's above and beyond what the normal payout will be. It's a great opportunity for catfishing tournaments to have added money to go on and make this happen.
Yeah, J. Paul really wasted some money on us.
I know somebody that wasted a little bit of money on us too. But it's okay because it was me.
It was still a good time.
It was a great time, and one of the things that I notice, and I know you guys have too, is when a bunch of us guys at these catfishing tournaments get together, a lot of times the things that happened in the past or what's went on before that you did or didn't agree with kind of go away, and everybody just sits around and shoots the breeze and has fun. And it's very enjoyable to be around the group of people that we deal with at these tournaments.
That's true. And just to be around some of the quality of not only fishermen, but people that are in the catfish community is amazing. I mean, I was just sitting there looking around that room, and it was just like the who's who in catfishing. And I was like, whoa, you knew it was going to be a tough tournament.
Oh, yeah. There was a bunch of really, really top teams down there. Not every one of them made this event, but and not all of them was top teams, but there was a pretty good selection of guys that you could have thrown a blanket over. Any of them could have won it. And like I say, Marty and Roger Gerloff was down there, and it's just a big crowd, and it was a lot of fun. We really had time. Hey, boys, I know we was talking about this before the show started, but how about that channel cat K-Bug Clark caught this weekend?
Man, that was a monster. That was a monster. I could tell it was kind of a big fish on the video, but man, when he pulled that channel up over the bank, handed that to her, she looked tiny holding that fish. It was big.
That was a great fish, and we're so proud of her for catching that thing. It's awesome to see a young lady like that catch a giant fish like that. Is just awesome.
Yeah, that was a big channel. That was bigger than any channel I've ever caught.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have to admit, I got one in Wisconsin that weighed almost 30 pounds a few years ago, and I probably was as proud of it as she was hers, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
One proud daddy. I bet you are, man. Jim was feeling better and got over your heart attack issue there. But, that was a great fish and well-deserved. I know K-Bug fishes a lot with Jim, and I hope that that'll be a fish you remember for a long time till she catches something bigger. And I doubt, being the first big fish that she ever caught, I doubt if she ever forgets it.
Yeah, that's trophy channel cat right there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Soccer practice tonight. Well, that's all right. She can watch us when she gets home. So, what's going on with you guys that we can talk about for a little bit?
We don't really have much going on right now. We need to get back out and start doing some filming. We've been having some issues with some audio quality stuff and microphones and firmware issues with them being compatible with GoPro. And me and Trevor, we went out and did a whole day of filming, caught a ton of fish and several nice fish, and we had several cameras running. We was doing a little bit of drifting, dragging, and suspend fishing, and got back home and lost everything.
Oh,
And you put all that work. People don't realize how much work goes into the filming side of things, and to get home and have all that gone, it's just heartbreaking.
I do know the feeling. Believe me. I don't. Which model of GoPros do you guys use?
Primarily we use the 5 Session and the 6 Black.
I assume from what you're saying that the audio microphones on those from the factory are about like the other ones, the older models.
Yeah. Just about every GoPro is terrible for their audio quality, but they're cheap. So that's that's the thing that makes people buy them over the DSLR and Canon cameras and stuff like that. Instead of spending $1,000 on a camera, you can go out and spend $200 and be able to shoot nice video. But you got the audio quality issue, and you have to make up for it with microphones.
Yep, I happen to have a really nice Canon sitting here that doesn't work right now. I got to get it to the shop, and very disappointing because they do take amazing video.
Yeah, they're especially nice for night filming. You know, having a lot of them have a built-in camera or a built-in light on the camera, and that's another nice feature to them. But that's one thing we had to overcome using GoPros too, is being able to film at nighttime. Because so many big fish, during the spring and fall, they come at nighttime, and you're just not able to get those fish on camera.
That's exactly right, and I know you guys have got a pretty good setup for lighting. We have 4 big LEDs that we use at night when we fish, and it takes a lot of light to be able to shoot video at night.
Yep.
And
what you see with the naked eye doesn't pick up on a camera.
that's 100% correct, and people should realize that even though these LEDs are like floodlights, they're still, them fish will get places where the lighting is not at all good to where you can see what's going on. I see we have a couple of people that just jumped in, want to know where Doc was at. Just to let everybody know again, Doc's wife Lynn is in the hospital. She has some issues with some infections and maybe blood clot and some things. I'm not going to get into that, so I don't tell you something that's wrong. Just keep Doc in your thoughts and prayers, and he'll be back next Monday night.
Our anchor when fishing.
All right, boys, what do you think?
What's that?
Somebody asked a question in chat, wanted to know what you prefer, drifting or anchoring?
Anchoring.
Yep. I grew up anchoring, and it's kind of got a special place in my heart. And no matter how much we drift, drag, bump, whatever, anchoring's always going to have its place and have its times. We've caught a lot of big fish off the anchor. We've caught a lot of big fish off drifting and suspending and dragging, but it's just what I grew up doing, what I'm most comfortable doing. It doesn't matter if there's current or not. I do a lot of anchoring.
Yeah, I agree. I prefer to locate the fish you want to catch, and then try to target them, not just dragging all over the place. I mean, granted, you cover a lot more ground, but I like to find a fish that is good, and then just try to target it.
It's a lot of
sometimes
fun.
It don't work. Sometimes it does.
Well, and that's why they call it fishing and not catching. But I remember the day when Daryl and Jason Massagill didn't drift. All they done was anchor fish, and they was just as tough in those days as they are today.
Right.
So if there's a time before we get into spinning the rig wrap prize wheel, which it is past time, David Funk would like to know if I would ask you guys about the shirt wearing prize. What pound is leading?
Right now it's 56.1 pounds. That was set Saturday night on Wheeler at the Hold'em Hook Catfish Tournament. Jared Robertson out of Mississippi is currently leading that.
And it's the new personal best.
Yep, new personal best for Jared.
And what was the weight on it?
56.1.
Nice fish. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Super happy for that kid. With everything going on, just lost a close family member and everything, and then goes out there and smacks his PB. That's awesome.
Heck yeah. All right, boys. What do you say we spin the old rig wrap prize wheel? Trevor, pick out a number between 1 and 5.
Let's go 3.
1, 2, 3. And the winner is Jim Clark. Jim Clark. Awesome. Let's see what we can do for Jim.
Wow, I done it again. I went the wrong way.
Let me adjust this right quick for her. She spun it the wrong direction. Gonna do better. Jim, if you will contact Rusty Jackson and tell him you want some structure snakes on Catfish Weekly, he will get those out to you. Thanks for watching Catfish Weekly, as always, and thanks for playing the Rig Wrap Prize Wheel game.
Structure snakes are nice.
Yeah, I use them a lot, and I love them.
I do too. I have some of them, and I have got ones that I made. I've got other ones that I've bought. I've got other ones that guys have sent me, and to be quite honest, these hang up less than anything I've got. The only exception to that would be Larry and I talked when he first brought this knowledge into the catfishing industry. He did that on our show, and then him and Steve made a really nice video about him. But he had told me that depending on what type of structure that you was in would determine the length that you made some. Now, if I'm in a bunch of trees, I have some that's 2.5, 3 foot long, and they'll bounce right over them limbs. I kind of like those if I'm in heavy structure. But, I have very little trouble with them structure snakes. They're a great product, and Rusty's a super nice guy, and we're so happy to have him on our prize wheel and helping people out with some new products.
Yeah, back to what David was talking about, or not David, but whoever asked the question about anchoring.
David.
We do a lot of anchoring in the winter, especially when those fish are when the water's real cold. And a lot of times, even if you mark the fish, and if you're suspending baits over them and drifting, or you're dragging baits through there, in those really deep cold front days, they're not going to move. They're buried up in the mud, and they're hunkering down. And I've drugged fish across their heads and not had a bite.
Yeah, they don't even wake up, do they?
No. But I've learned that if you put baits right there in front of them and just give them time, a lot of the time that they'll come off the bottom there and eat.
Yep. Tommy Ernest says, shout out to Josh and Trevor from Florida.
Oh, Florida. Yeah, I got a bunch of family that lives down there.
Awesome. Now, do you guys use any all fresh cut bait, or do you use live bait?
I like live bait.
Yeah, we use both. Really depends on what we're chasing. Flatheads. Is what I've heard. I haven't got the experience of fishing for the flatheads up north, but I hear the flatheads up north are a little bit different than the ones down here. People up north talk about not really catching flatheads off cut bait, and it's all live bait. But here it's kind of backwards. I never really seem to catch flatheads off live bait. It's always cut bait they hit.
No,
growing up in Iowa, I mean, you catch some. It seemed like when they're first coming out of dormancy in the wintertime, because then I think they're more just eat anything. But it seemed like when you get to summer, fall, I never really had good luck catching them on cut bait up home.
Yeah.
I never did.
Well, I will tell you that my whole entire life, I never caught a flathead on anything except live bait. And Cindy and I fished a tournament over on the Illinois River. We caught 7 in one night on cut bait. It was the first time that I'd ever caught a flathead on cut bait. And we went to another tournament 2 or 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I'll tell you when it was. It was last year. We caught that flathead in the Mississippi River Monsters on cut bait with Doc. Was the next flathead that I caught, and every fish that we caught this past weekend, both flatheads was caught on cut bait into Crothersville. So, but most of the time, if I'm throwing for flatheads, I'm tossing out live bluegills or bullhead if I can get them.
Mm-hmm. Well, our last marathon trip, me and Trevor done in May, we went up to Gunnersville, and I think the whole time we were there, we caught over 50 flatheads, and not a single one of them come off live bait.
We didn't even have any live bait.
No. Every bit of it was just skipjack.
Yes, Sonny, I did. That was a giant flathead you caught up there. That was a dandy. Yes, Cliff, I agree. They do like head pieces pretty well, but we caught them on a side that was flayed off this weekend and on chunks right out of the body sections, what we caught our fish on. So sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not.
Yeah, I'm surprised you caught any fish on that skipjack. I mean, we soaked it in gas and everything else before we gave it to you. I'm surprised you caught anything on it.
Well, I might have cut that bag open of that OU stuff I had in my deep freeze. But no, our fish was on a ledge. Every fish that we caught was caught in 22 to 30 feet of water, most of them around 22 to 26. You get out of that range and you couldn't even get a bite. The place that we wanted to fish was a hole on a ledge, and it was right in the barge line where they run below a bridge. And as you well know, the barge traffic was horrendous, and we never got to fish that spot. After we found it, we went down there to fish that spot Saturday morning, and here come the barges, and we never one time got to fish that. Another boat tried to fish it, and they kept having to run off on account of the barge traffic. And finally, he left, and I thought, well, we'll run over there now, and here come 2 from each direction. So we get to fish that spot, and the fish was really stacked up in there, and some good fish. But all of our fish come from 22 to 26 foot of water. If you got shallower than that, you wasn't getting bit. If you got deeper than that, you wasn't getting bit.
Yeah, the barges were terrible.
Yeah, I don't believe there's any worse at that at any time I was ever in the Memphis area. That's about as much barge traffic as I've ever seen in one area for one day, and it was constant.
3 times we had 2 at a time.
Yeah, 3 different times we had 2 coming from each direction.
Yeah, and those ones that were like 4 or 5 wide and 7 long going upstream were like throwing 5-foot rollers off the back of it.
Yeah,
were bad.
You didn't want out there in no 14-foot narrow John boat, did you?
No.
No barge bite, Roger. No barge bites for us.
Yeah, the only fish we caught during the tournament, I think, was about 30 foot of water. We had problems really marking fish probably after 10 o'clock that morning. And that was the same old story the day before. And what we had been hearing the whole time up leading and pre-fishing is just no one could mark fish. No one could find the big ones. And
now let me ask you, you know, we was up there from Wednesday on. And Wednesday we got there, and the first place we went, we found a lot of fish. We didn't find what I thought was winning size fish. They were smaller fish. Now, you could have caught plenty of them. There's no doubt about it, because they was in there for along a channel ledge for a long ways, and I'm pretty sure you could have caught what you wanted. The next 2 days, we had trouble finding fish. Now, when we'd find them, we'd find several, and then we'd go for miles and not mark over 1 or 2 fish. And again, we struggled to find fish that I thought would win the tournament. We found small fish, and we'd find one good one here or there, but no concentration. And I thought it was horrible trying to find fish that I thought would win the tournament. Did you guys run into that?
Yeah, we had a lot of fish that once we did find, it was hard to get them to bite. And the ones that did bite, we were getting a lot of short bites, especially early that morning. They would load the rod up, and where you knew they were there, they would just let it go.
Yeah, we had
preschool, even preschool, you know, just with bait runner, they still just would not take it. They'd pull it, drop it, pull it, drop it, pull it, drop it, pull it, drop it. There was just no runs.
Right. You know, we had 2 runs. We had both. Cindy and I both, before I put that first flathead in the boat, we had 2 like that. I was pretty aggravated because I missed the first fish, and then she missed one later on. And they just didn't have the hook. You know, they was grabbing the bait and not getting it all, just getting I guess the end of it or something, because you know, normally if they get that bait and you get a takedown, normally you get the fish. And these just didn't get it. I don't know if they flatheads or blues. When you don't get them to boat, it's kind of hard to determine. But I told Cindy on the way when that first one come in, I said, this got to be a flathead. I said, it ain't coming up. Blues had already been to the top of the water, so but I was sure it was, and it was a good fish. It just wasn't, you know, it wasn't a giant. And but hell, if we'd have got 4 more like that instead of the smaller one we got, we'd have been better off.
Right. Yeah. At one time, we were dragging the canal where me and you launched on tournament day. Just trying to put channel cats or something in the live well. I mean, we were getting desperate.
No, we anchor fished, we drifted. It just, you know, like I say, if you got out of that 22 to 26 foot of water in the area we was in, there was no fish, and the barge and the wind and the barge wakes blowing you up against the bank. You was constantly repositioning your boat, and it was a pretty tough day to fish, and the fish wasn't biting as much. I talked to some of the local guys down there. They said a week before, the fishing was on fire right in front of the city down there, so you could have caught some giant fish down there, not had to boat very far, but even they was having trouble catching quality fish, and they lived there. So
yeah, we had a local talking to us on Friday when we pulled up in a spot, and he was over there bumping around back by one of those diversion canals, and he's like, I don't know what happened. He's like, yeah, earlier in the week, he's like, I caught 110 pounds in an hour and a half here, you know, and 5 fish. Right. He was just smoking him, and he's like, that he'd only caught 1 when we were talking to him, 1 little one. So, and he just said he was absolutely surprised that 44 pounds was a big fish for the weekend.
Yeah,
I was surprised at that.
I was too. Sonny Parker would like to know what you guys' personal best fish are.
My personal best blue is 74 and a 49-pound flathead.
Mine is 78-pound blue and a 62-pound flathead.
Great fish, guys.
K-Bug wants to know what their favorite rods are.
K-Bug Clark wants to know what your favorite fishing rods are.
Well, right now I'm using Big Cat Fever heavies, but we're gonna have a short announcement here soon, so we can leave it at that.
Well, now I know for a fact that you guys had some bumping rods that you was adjusted to you over the weekend.
Oh yeah, they're nice.
I tell you, I need to catch a fish on one first though.
Can't call it a favorite till you use it enough to justify it enough.
They're pretty sharp. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a video on those.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy them as much as I enjoyed making them for you. Mid-South Life, Outdoor Life would like to know if you guys was fishing in New Madrid or closer to Carruthersville.
Like kind of in between.
Yeah. Pre-fishing the day before, we went all the way up to New Madrid, and we got up there and we were kind of running low on fuel, and we wanted to go a little bit further, but we couldn't go any further, so we had to turn around and start making our way back. But we fished pretty much everywhere between what was the interstate's name, Trevor? 55.
Yeah, we went down by 50. The furthest south we went down is I-55, and then the furthest north we went was New Madrid.
Yeah.
So that's a good stretch of river. We scouted and fished that whole stretch.
They are. That was a good place up there. I say we stopped at New Madrid on the way down, looked it over, spent several hours up there, and then we spent the rest of our time down at Carruthersville, and you could have went anywhere and caught fish, I believe, but like I say, we was looking for winning fish, and to be quite honest, we never found them except for that one spot that we didn't get to fish. And I believe there was some fish in there. If a guy could have picked up 2 out of there and some quality unders, he would have been gold. But we just, by the time you got your stuff out, here come a barge, and you knew where he's coming because it was right in his lane, and that's the only place they was going underneath that bridge. So it is what it is. Maybe next time.
Well, I see someone's back from soccer practice.
Yes, sir. She is. Glenn wants to know if you're ready, Cindy. The wheel is greased up and ready to go.
It's ready to go.
It's ready to go. Josh, would you pick me out a number between 1 and 5, and we'll see if we can spin the old rig wrap prize wheel again.
Let's make it easy and go with 1.
Oh, I love 1. That's one of my favorites. And the winner is Tommy Ernest.
He's always winning.
He wins a lot. Some people never win. I'm one of them. Got a little better spin on that one. Let's see what we can do for Tommy tonight. Hooker's Terminal Tackle. Tommy, if you'll contact Hooker's Terminal Tackle and tell them you want a package of hooks on the Rig Wrap Prize Wheel on Catfish Weekly, they will ship them right out to you. James Arwood, one of the great sponsors we have on our show. We're so glad to have him on here. We have a new sponsor. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But, yeah, James will fix you up with some great hooks. We used them all weekend with 0 issues. They're great. You'll love them. He's a great sponsor. Thanks for watching Catfish Weekly and playing the Rig Wrap Prize Wheel game. All right. I wanted to make an announcement that we do have a new sponsor on the Rig Wrap Prize Wheel tonight. Catfish Session. They contacted us a few weeks ago and wanted to be on the show. They sent all their stuff in last week, but I didn't have it enough time to get them put up for last week's show, but they are on this week, and we want to welcome them to Catfish Weekly. We're glad to have them on the show, and hope somebody wins some of their stuff.
What kind of stuff do they got?
They have apparel and some other stuff. I have to check them out. I've just been so busy since we got back, and I don't remember everything we went over last week. We was gone for 4 or 5 days, and I got to refresh a little bit.
The live well.
Yeah, and I worked on the live well the whole week before time, and I got to tell you, boys, I don't know how well you checked out my new live well, but it worked flawlessly. D&T custom live well and rod racks. I really love my rod rack, but that live well, we put our fish in the boat really, really early Saturday morning.
7:30, wasn't it?
Do we want to talk about this?
What's that? What?
Did we forget to put something in the live well?
No. Oh, no. I filled the live well up, put my first fish in it. We caught the second fish, and we go to put it in. I forgot to put the plug in it, and all the water had run out of it. I wasn't going to bring that up, but since you mentioned it, Trevor, I will go ahead and do that.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, well, Cindy, believe me, she was on me like, well, you know. But anyhow, we got the plug in it, filled it back up, and like I had said on last week's show, I had hooked the hoses and everything up to the original plumbing on this boat, and it's got an aerated switch just like all of them do, and it kicks on, kicks off, kicks on, kicks off, and when it gets to the overflow. It just runs out that, so it never overfills the live well and gets in the bottom of your boat. And those fish was just as lively when we pulled them out at about 3:10 or 3:15 at weigh-in as they was when we put them in the boat. No issues. It worked flawlessly. No leaks, no drips, no airs. I was so proud of that thing. And we would drive down the road with the lights on in the rod rack and the Catfish Weekly sign shining in the back and the catfish on the side of our rod rack, and people wave at you and go down the road. It was pretty damn cool if you really want to know.
Yeah.
So great products from D&T. If you guys need anything from them, custom stuff, live wells, rod racks, give them a shout. They're good folks. All right. Hey, Bug, great fish you caught over the weekend. Very nice. See if I've missed anything here for you guys. What kind of boat are you fishing out of?
G3 Sportsman 200.
Very nice boat. I got to check it out. Pretty impressed. I really do like your rod rack on the back of that where it splits across the motor. You can shove it further to the back. For us, that would not be quite as handy as we'd have to crawl up on the bigger part of the boat, but you're out of the way and it saves you all kinds of floor space and stuff. I really do like that.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, that was kind of a must-have when we was talking with Adeline about building our racks for us. And we told them that we wanted a design that was going to save us the most space. And we kind of worked with them a little bit and got some measurements for the boat, and they come up with a split rack design, and it's worked great ever since. I'm not a big fan of racks that stretch across the beam of the boat, and a lot of boats you'll lose 3 and 4 foot off the back of your boat because you got a big giant rod rack in the way.
And you have to set them back away from the back. I left myself 1.5 inches between the motor fully tilted and the back of the rod rack, so there's no way I could ever get into it, which for a lot of people, they wouldn't like that. For us, it works out perfect because we just stand on the live well and grab the rods. Cindy with 2 bad knees, it's a little tough for her to get up on a really tall back deck to get it. This works out perfect. They're the right height and everything with the short Driftmaster rod holder. So, but to tell you the truth, that's about as far as I want to get up and down on them anymore.
Right. And that's another thing those guys are willing to do. They'll work whatever's going to suit your fishing needs. That's a good thing about it.
Yep, those guys done a really good job on your rack. They had done some stuff for us on the show here some time back, and I really, really like that. That's a design that on our next boat we might, depending on the height of the rear deck, we might very well consider that because I pretty well like those. Terry Atkins would like to know if you guys do any live streaming when you're fishing.
We've done a little bit, but until we can get all this audio stuff figured out, we're gonna get into it some more once we get the microphone thing figured out. We've got a drone. We've got several cameras. We have went live with the drone once on Facebook. I can't remember if we caught anything or not, but
yeah, one flathead.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing about drones. They only last about 12 minutes in the air, so you got 12 minutes to catch a fish.
Oh wow, yeah, I wouldn't like that, Glenn. I got to tell you, good thing it was the live well and not the boat. I have done that also, not recently, but it has happened. You're right about that, John.
I need to get a hold of him.
I'm sorry?
I need some rig wraps in my life.
Yes, you do. And once you have what you've done without them your whole life, you get a hold of Glenn at rigwrap.com and tell him that I sent you down there. Glenn's a great guy. He'll hook you up with what you need, man. He's got it. And if they're not here, the new Rig Wrap 60 cases will be here anytime.
Yeah, Yeah.
I'm not sure that they're not, but I know they'll be here. If they're not, they'll be here very shortly.
I see he even gave me his number, so I have no excuses.
Yeah, if you don't get it from this point on, it's on you, big guy.
Yeah. I'll call him. I'll call you tomorrow, Glenn.
Well, I love them, man. They ain't nothing like it, nothing faster, nothing easier. They work out really well for us. We use them all the time. And Trevor, I'm going to tell you something. Benji brought this up. I'm going to show you something. I don't know if you use the Demon Dragons and stuff or not, but
Well, I hope so. I'm sponsored by him.
this is one of my yes, I guess you do. This is one of my favorite packages. This lure locker. You can put your Demon Dragon with your hook tied up and everything right inside. You can put 4 of them to a pack. Man, them things work awesomely. Now, these don't have Demon Dragons in them, but because they're ones that do are in the boat. This is a great setup. They make them in 3s and 4s. One of the best products that there is, because you can set them on the dash or in your pack or whatever you carry your stuff in. And if this setup that you're using in this particular one, of course you can see I mark all mine what they are. Mm-hmm. If that's working, you just go to the next one in line and you'll have 4 of them there. Surely you won't go through that many a day, although I have a time or two. But them lure lockers are a great product. I dearly love them. And
I think about it every time we're getting ready to go to tournament, and I got, the like a leader book, with stuff in it, but still, winding them up, shoving them in that little zipper pouch and everything. I think about it every time before a tournament. I'm like, God, I got to get me some rig wraps. I'm being lazy.
Man, you just got to make it happen. They're the greatest thing for rigging fishing equipment that I've ever been involved with. I've tried everything from the pool noodles to the little baggies. I used to put them in baggies and put them in them clothes and things, and I just throw them in the junk pile after you have this rig pack.
Well, then I seen someone post something about using them for sabikis, and I never thought about for that because usually a sabiki gets one use, and then that thing is gone.
That's right. That's exactly right.
I can't tell you how many sabikis I threw away.
Oh yeah, every time I use one, it's gone.
If you take them out of the package and hook them up, if you get it anywhere from where you're using home without hooking them on everything, you've done really good. But I've never been able to use one over one time, and
right.
They just don't work. Mike Branham says backwood catfishing shirts draw a lot of attention up there.
That's good.
That is good.
That's good. Yeah, that design, I mean, I love it on the back of the shirts. So I love it.
Yeah.
I came up with a good one there.
I decided I might want to wear mine tonight. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Chris Hall for the inspiration behind that. He was kind of the mastermind behind the drawing on the back of the shirt. I like
the image on the back of the shirt myself really, really well.
Someone like your sign that's on your wall, you need to tell them who made that.
If they're talking about the sign right here, there's a rod right in front of that, but it says I'd rather be fishing. That was given to me by Jerry Klein Jr. at the Catfish Conference last year. I've known Jerry and his family for years and years, and we had them on the show that we done live out of the Catfish Conference. And whenever I'd take a break, I would go outside and have a break with his dad and his brother Joe and all them guys, and Jason Raff and all them guys. I've known them all for a countless number of years. They're all a great bunch of guys. And Jerry was kind enough to give me that at the conference last year, and we appreciate it so much. And I know it doesn't get shown like it should, but it is there every week so people know that where it come from, because when somebody gives something to us, it means something to us. Like I say, I've known them Klein boys and Joe Lucky and them guys, Jason Rath, all them boys for years and years and years, and they're all a great bunch of guys. And I want that to be where everybody can see it. And then when somebody says, hey, where'd that come from? Well, it was given to me by Jerry Klein Jr., and I appreciate that.
I used their rods for a long time. I used to have 10 of them, and then until all of them got stolen out of the back of my truck.
Oh, man, I hate to hear that.
Yep.
You know, there was a little of that went on last year down at Monster Run, Ohio. I'm quite sure Aaron has that all taken care of. It's a sad thing when somebody that steals fishing stuff out of the back of somebody else's truck, because the only reason they would steal it is because they don't have it and they want to go fishing.
Well, if they just asked any of us would take them fishing probably. You ain't got to steal from us.
That's exactly right. If you want to go fishing, just say, hey, would you take me sometime? Absolutely. I would much rather take them, furnish their drinks and their snacks and everything, and let them have 3 or 4 small fish to take home and keep, than I would steal my stuff and I have to rebuy it and then end up taking them sometime down the road and not even know it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Used to go fishing. Just give me a reason, please.
Greg, I'm glad that the video is so clear. I like it when it's like that. It's supposed to be that way. We're having some great weather down here. We're supposed to get some rain over the last couple of days, and that didn't materialize, so maybe that has something to do with it.
E-Star went up. You're going to the Glasgow tournament.
E-Star wants to know if we're going to the Glasgow tournament. We haven't decided yet. I'm still recuperating from being gone 4 or 5 days to Crothersville, but it is extremely tempting. I will let you guys know more about that as the week progresses to see if I get healed back up from being gone all the time or not.
Spin the rig wrap wheel.
It's time to spin the rig wrap wheel. Well, I think we can spin the rig wrap prize wheel one more time. Trevor, your turn. Give me a number, man.
2.
1, 2. And the winner is K-Bug Clark. Man,
Nice.
that family has hit. Can you believe it? That's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah,
K-Bug.
congratulations, K-Bug.
Oh, it's good. No, just pass it. No. Demon Dragon.
Demon Dragon.
Nice.
All right. Hey, K-Bug, here's what you do. You get a hold of Captain Scott Manning and tell him you won some Demon Dragons on the Catfish Weekly Show. You was the prize wheel winner, and you want some Backwoods Outdoors Demon Dragons. See if he'll see some of them.
Catfishing.
Catfishing. Backwoods Outdoor Catfishing.
No, just Backwoods Catfishing.
Now make up our mind.
Tell me. Tell me what color is his shirt.
Oh, what colors does your shirts come in, guys?
Right now we got black and gray.
Black and gray. This is gray.
Yep. Show them that logo on the back if you would, Law.
I don't know.
I'll tell you when.
You tell me when I'm in the right position.
You will.
Oh.
You can sit down and fight. Did they sit?
That's perfect.
Okay, cool. Around.
I like it.
Yeah, I really love that logo on the back. It just fits all of us so perfect.
It does. It fits everybody that's in the catfish world. You know, we're all trying to find one that won't fit in a live well.
That's right. I've had so many people tell me that's the reason they bought that shirt, just they can't get enough of that logo on the back.
That's right. I love it, man. We got, Cindy and I go quite a bit and a lot of different areas. And if we're in a boat, we get comments about that. People see our decals and stickers and stuff on it. We wear these shirts in. I go to the post office, and the lady at the post office says, man, she said, would you come in with some of the neatest shirts? And I said, you know what? We got some really cool people in the business that we're in, and we really enjoy supporting what they send to us. And she said, man, they're awesome. And we've had some really gorgeous shirts over the years. And Team Rig Wrap would like to know, what's your most popular color, guys?
The most popular that we sell?
Yes.
Probably the black, because the gray hasn't been out very long. We probably had it a week, but we had a lot of requests for it being summertime, so I definitely wanted to try to get those people.
Yeah. Well, this one is very comfortable and get a lot of comments on it. A lot of people like it, so hopefully that'll help you sell a few of them. There's not a lot of money in shirts as we do it. You'd have to sell hundreds of them to make any amount of money, but if you're like me, anything like that you sell goes towards your fishing habit anyhow. So every little bit is a drop of gas in the gas tank, or a hook or sinker or something that you need or don't have.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Between shirts and YouTube, and that's what everything goes back towards.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, and let's face it, YouTube is not a money maker to people. Think it is. There's just not a lot of money in that, but it's fun, and that's why we do it. We enjoy it.
Yeah,
like to share stuff with everybody. Well, we're running close to an hour, guys. It's always a pleasure having you on here, but you guys got a big giveaway to do tonight.
Yep.
This has been 2 months in the making. For anyone in chat that's not aware of this, when we hit our 1,000 YouTube subscriber, me and Trevor talked about what kind of giveaway we was going to do for this, and a lot of people liked our marathon videos. Well, we said, well, we're going to bring somebody fishing with us on one of these marathon trips for 36 hours on the water. We don't leave the water. We bring food. We bring drinks with us. We're going to pay for their fishing license if they don't have an Alabama fishing license, and we're going to fish anywhere in the state of Alabama that they want to fish. Or if they're not familiar with waters in Alabama, we can help recommend waters that are good fishing for that time of year. And a little fact: we've been on. Well, me and Trevor's been on 2 marathons together, but I've been on 6 in total, and every trip has produced a personal best so far.
Wow!
And one of the marathons produced 2 personal bests. It was this past May. My wife caught a 51-pound flathead, and I caught a 74-pound blue, about 5 minutes apart from each other.
Wow!
So yeah, we try to really get on the fish, and if you can't catch fish in 36 hours of fishing, that's just a bad day of fishing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, boys, the list you sent me has 193 people on it. That's a pretty big number.
Yes, yeah, it is.
And somebody is going to be a winner. And Dieter Melhorn thinks it ought to be him. There is some others on there. K-Bug Clark thinks that it should be her. Catfish Mama thinks it should be her, and so does Country Girl Catfishing and Marty Bonham. And
someone said they better have a porta pot on there.
Yeah, I've seen that comment.
That's what extra live wells are for, isn't it?
That's right.
Hey, Tossin Emery's been asking us every day for the past 2 months if he's won yet. But after seeing that video on Facebook, I don't know if I want him in the boat for 36 hours.
Well, if you guys can look at chat, it's going crazy right now. Everybody's wanting to win it, and I think this is a great giveaway. I'm so happy that you guys would let us do it on Catfish Weekly. It's a great thing to do, and if you're ready, you tell me how many times you want to randomize that 193 names.
You go ahead, Trevor.
I don't know. I'm just excited. I think I'm probably just about as excited as whoever's going to win this trip.
Glenn with Rig Wrap says he'll furnish the rig wraps.
What a deal!
That'd be cool. He can come up and go fishing with us sometime too. We'll put him on some big fish.
Glenn is another one of the great sponsors we have on Catfish Weekly. All right. Pick me a number, fellers.
Let's go with 5.
1, 2, 3, 4. And the winner is Dakota Gentry.
Wow.
I take it Trevor knows Dakota Gentry.
Yeah, we fish against Dakota a lot on the Hold'em Hook Trail. He's from Tennessee.
Awesome.
That is cool.
He is your winner.
That's pretty cool right there.
Yeah.
You know,
we don't have to buy him a plane ticket. Thank God. That's going to save us money.
I don't think it would have mattered who won that. I think you guys would have been happy with any of them.
Anybody.
I know for a fact that anybody that won that would have had a great time with you guys, and I think what you did is an outstanding gesture to our sport of people getting to go out and fish with you guys. And some of the guys may not know or may have forgotten that you guys are still in the top 5 of points for Cabela's points championship as of this past weekend. So
we've got a couple mess ups we got to fix, but
you guys led it for a high percentage of the year.
Yeah, we've been on kind of a slump, to say the least. But, you know, fishing new waters, different scenarios that you aren't usually accustomed to. I mean, it's just, for me, it's just motivation just to get better.
That's right.
It really is. You know, you can sit around and cry and whine about it all you want, but it's, you know what, you just got to keep on attacking and learning and asking questions and watching videos, do whatever you got to do to get better. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Trevor, my take on it is if you can't go win in any water, if the only place you could win is your home water, then you're really not a fisher. You're not a tournament fisherman. You're just a guy that does good when you're fishing at home. You got to be able to go anywhere and do good any place.
Yep.
And one of the things that irritates me is guys won't fish channel cat tournaments, and I dearly love fishing channel cat tournaments. The weigh-ins are close. Some of them have 5 and some of them have 7 fish limits, so you can catch a lot of fish. And usually in channel cat water, you do catch a lot of fish. Like I say, a lot of times 1st through 5th is separated by less than 1 pound.
Yeah.
It doesn't get much more exciting in a weigh-in than that. And I love them, and it just appalls me when people say, "Oh, I won't fish for nothing but blues." Well, you're missing out on half of the fun, and you're not testing your skill level at all if you won't fish for channel cat or go someplace where predominantly they win with flatheads. I wish that some of the flathead waters that Doc fishes over in Ohio and places like West Virginia where they predominantly catch flatheads, I wish that wasn't so far so we could attend some of them tournaments because, man, them flatheads are a blast to catch.
Yeah, we'll be hitting up one of those in 2 weeks at Huntington,
West Virginia. That'd be a great tournament over there. I wish we could go to that one.
Someone would know if they're going to Tell City, Indiana.
Are you guys going to Tell City, Indiana?
They're not. My daughter's birthday's this weekend.
You better stay home and take care of that.
Yeah. But other than that, we're gone every weekend. Well, I'm gone every weekend for like the next month and a half.
Okay, so tell us, you guys are going to fish Helena, Arkansas. You're going to fish where else?
Huntington, West Virginia, the Classic, and then I got the warm-up at Mississippi River Monsters with you guys. So I'm pretty much booked up for the next till the middle of September.
Well, we're also I think we're going to add – which one did we say we're adding? We're adding Paducah. We're going to add Paducah to this year's list.
Good. Well, you know, Cindy and I wish you guys the very best of luck at these tournaments. Nothing would suit me better to see you guys go out there and kick butt and take names. But I know you're going to give it your all. I know you're going to do the best you can. You're going to have a great time doing it, and that's why we catfish to start with.
Right.
So they were big. Yes, Dieter, I agree. I think it's right. You know, if you're going to and that's one thing about Cabela's, I will give it to them. They have tournaments in channel cat water. They have tournaments in flathead water. They have tournaments in predominantly blue cat fishing water. I think that is, if you're going to be a national trail, that's the way it should be. It shouldn't just be, and the guys that, like I say, the guys that think, I'm not fishing for nothing but blue cat, you're missing the boat, because them channel cats are just as much fun to catch, and pound per pound, you can say what you want. They fight harder than them blues anyhow. I'm just telling you, that's the way it is. But I dearly love catching them flatheads. The time of our weekend was them flatheads over the weekend. Yeah. It really was. That first one, it was a pretty good fish. And I told Cindy when it was coming to the boat, I said, this got to be a flathead. I can't get it off the bottom. And it was. And we don't fish for flatheads. So when you get a decent flathead, you're pretty sure what it is. And I would have been thrilled if it had been a blue, because we went down there to do good in that tournament. It just turned out it didn't work out, but it doesn't always.
No.
But it was still a great time. We enjoyed it so much, and I really enjoyed our time together with you guys over the weekend. It was a blast, and wish you guys the very best of luck in your upcoming tournaments.
Well, appreciate it.
Thank you for doing the giveaway on our show. It was an awesome time. And I know your buddy will be proud to jump in a boat with you for 36 hours. I hope you guys get the video stuff worked out so that we can make that happen.
Yeah, we'll definitely be getting that taken care of. But yeah, like Trevor said, we fish against Dakota and his dad a lot on Wheeler. So I have a strong suspicion that's where he's going to want to go.
I'm pretty sure you're right about that. Blast. You guys have a great time.
Yeah.
All right, Josh, Trevor, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Catfish Weekly.
Thanks, Lyle.
Thanks, Lyle. Thanks, Cindy.
Bye-bye. Glenn said
Yeah, I see that.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. And you're right, Glenn. We don't have a Doc's tip of the week tonight, and I'm going to substitute and have Lyle's tip of the week, and it will be, do not forget to put the plug in your live well when you're in a That's a great one.
Because when you open it, there's no water.
There's no water, and the fish is sitting there with them eyes looking at you like, dumbass, what are you doing? And Cindy says, how come there ain't no water in there? Well, I forgot to put the plug in. Well, you fix it and go on. And Country Girl Catfishing, I did see that. And yes, I couldn't believe that you ate the catfish bubble gum, but I did
see that.
Yeah, crazy, crazy, crazy. Cindy, they want to spin the rig wrap prize wheel again.
All right.
Pick me out a number between 1 and 5.
2. Make it easy.
1. I need it to be easy. 2. Ed Wilson. And let's see what we can do for Ed Wilson. Spun the crap out of it that time, didn't you? Round and round it goes. Round and round it goes. Oh, come on, Catfish obsession. Come on, no. Structure Snakes hadn't been hit for a long time. They got hit again tonight. Ed Wilson, please contact Rusty Jackson with Structure Snakes, and he will hook you up with some prizes. Thank you so much for watching Catfish Weekly and playing our Rig Wrap prize wheel game. I would like to thank everybody for watching the show tonight, and please keep Doc and Lynn in your thoughts and prayers. Lynn is in the hospital in intensive care, has some infections and some other things going on. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we are not going to get involved with saying this or that or what's going on. I don't want to say something that's wrong. Doc will be back next Monday night. He will tell us all about how things are going. We just want Lynn to get better so they can get back to a normal thing. I know that he had told me this morning, again, I'll go over what I said at the beginning of the show, that Lynn had some good rest last night, got a lot of sleep, and today she was still running tests, and she hadn't had much to eat today, and she's a little aggravated about that, but surely by now she's got something to eat, and hopefully she'll be going home Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere along in there. And so keep your thoughts and prayers with Doc and Lynn. We missed him tonight on the show, but the main concern is Lynn, and he is doing exactly what I would expect him to be doing, is being there with her.
Catfish session says give away a t-shirt in chat.
Give away a t-shirt in chat. Well, Doc usually does that, but let's see if I can figure out how to do it. Give me just a second. I think I can make that happen. I don't know what all that is, but help, we'll go another way. We're going to make it happen. All right. Cindy, pick me out another number. 1. Healing Drag Catfishing. Healing Drag Catfishing. If you will contact Catfish Obsession, they have a t-shirt for you. They are in chat, and you can collect your prize just by contacting them, and they will hook you up. Thanks for watching Catfish Weekly, being in our chat, and playing our prize game. We appreciate it so much. All right. Don't forget to keep Doc and Lynn in your thoughts and prayers. Also, Cindy's sister is having some issues with some cancer. Please give her family some thoughts and prayers also. It means a lot to us that you guys would be thinking about it. Pam's a really nice young lady, and I've known that family my whole life. Not only been married into it, but I've known them forever. So we would appreciate anything that you guys could send their way to. Next Monday night, we will be having Jeremy Cole on Catfish Weekly. We're going to be going over a bunch of stuff. Doc will be back, so be sure to tune in. See you next Monday night at 7 Central. Thanks for watching Catfish Weekly.